Hello again. I hope everything is going good. So in this video, we are going to do the first part of creating a to-do app with Redux and React. And we are going to start with setup environment. So you can follow up this video and let's begin. So first thing, you need like npm and okay, let's do this again. So if you want to create a React application, all you need is to go to the folder that you want to create that application or project folder. So I'm going to do it on documents. I like to do all my projects there. So all you need to do is the command npx. Of course, you need first to have, for example, the Node.js, and also you need the npm. npm is a package manager which allow you to install a lot of packages only on command line, so you don't need to upload it manually and implement it to the project. I'm using in this project npm manager. You can go ahead and figure it out or use Yarn. It's also a great tool. There's a lot of package manager out there, but npm is the best and I recommend it. Also, you need to install. That's it for to use React. But if you want to use the Redux, you need to install Redux through the React application, which we will do in this video. But if you have Node.js and npm, that's great. That's all what you need to create the project. So you need to do npx create app, create React app, and you will give the name of your application. Let's say Redux to do. Okay, so this npm create app is used by Facebook. You can create your React application manually, or you can use other command lines that help you. But this is the best and the fastest way to do it. So let's just start with it. Okay, I skipped the installation. Here it is. So to go to your directory, go to cd redux to do or whatever folder name you have, and let's do a code dot to open the visual code. Yeah, you have the code here. So and do npm start. Here we go. So first of all, we need to do some changes. For example, the test, I don't need this, so I'm going to delete this. So npx create a React app. It creates you everything on this folder, and you don't need all of that because we are going to create everything from scratch. So here we go. Yeah. So we don't need this or okay. Okay. So let's open this. We don't need everything here. I'm going to delete it all. Also, we don't need the logo .svg. I'm going to delete it also. And as you see, we import the CSV. We don't need to do that. and this here. Uh, yeah, can you see? So this is the setup environment. So we are going to start creating the components and the visuality for the application, and then we are going to implement the Redux via the npm package manager, and we are going to set up what we saw in the previous videos, the store, the actions, the reducers, and we are going to make a to-do list with add task and delete a task. It's going to be fun to do. And also, why I choose to do a to-do list, that's because the documentation with Redux have that example, which is very good example. You can find it here with to-do list, and you can check the code there too. So that's all. And before we go to the second round, you can see, like, I'm going to use this materialize, and we can link it only with the CDN. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's so simple. We only need the CSS file, so we are going to copy this link and go to our project. We are going to go to public index.html, and just before the title we can add that and click Ctrl S for save, and here you go. You can use the materialized CSS, which is like you can it works like a bootstrap, so you can add just tags, and you will have those very good components. And I'm trying to make this video fast, so that's why I'm using a lot of stuff just to minimize the timing. So we are going also to need the Redux after that. We will implement that with npm. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the right time. And also, if you want to use material UI, there's a lot of material design for React. That's why the React most commonly known by the big community, and you don't need to put a lot of work and a lot of investment on time by doing the components and styling them. But this UI material gives you a lot of components and a lot of very good stuff pre-built, and you only need to install this third library, and use it free. So let's start with the components, and we are going to create the to-do app component here, and then we are going to implement the Redux in the second phase. Okay. So in this example, I'm going to use the app.js as a class, and I will use the component as a function component. So the major difference here is with class you can use the state, and with the function component you can use the React hooks. Function components are easier to manage, but in the class components we will have there's a lot of stuff of new to learn. So I'm just going to do it. So yeah, so we have here the test component, and we can go there. So okay, so I'm going to create first a state, and I'm going to pass the state an object, to-dos object, and I'm going to do, okay, so and I'm going to pass the object. I'm going to give them an ID, and let's say content to do task. Okay, let's say task 1, and we are going to do the same thing to do task 2. Okay, it has to be a special ID. We are going to know why. If you are going to use a flat list, or we are going to use the map method, you need to pass something called key, and those key need to be unique. That's why we are using ID. And if you are using flat list, you can use a method named key extractor. So with that, you can create an ID from the name, or from the content. So it do it manually for you. But here we won't use the flat list. We are going to use just a map method. And let's go to the source, and let's say just component, just to make the structure go. And let's say to do's. Okay, .js. I'm using direct JavaScript. Also, you can use TypeScript. TypeScript is like a version of JavaScript, which is a new version of JavaScript that handle some stuff that JavaScript can't handle. And the first thing that you are going to notice with JavaScript, with TypeScript, is it's programming object oriented. So you can create classes and extend those classes into components, and a lot of stuff you can do. Okay, so okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is import React as from React. Okay, and what? Sorry about that. You can do it like this also. There is something called snippet, like with React Native and stuff. I can just type the command, and it will automatically draw everything. But let's just do it for fun. Let's just do it from scratch. So we have const and the name. Okay, so to an auth function. We need to return a JSX. JSX stands for JavaScript XML. So let's just create div dot let's say okay to do the collection div. Okay. Okay. So we have class name. On CSS we only put class, but here we need to put class names. So okay, so that's it. We are going to back here and put like each one method. Okay, but first let's add this class name called app. Okay, and let's give, for example, headline. Say to do app with Redux, or just to do app Redux. Okay, and let's give this a class name also. We, we are going to use some class name with what we implement later. So let's just say sensor and blue text. Okay, and that automatically will change. Okay, and now what we are going to do is to import that file to do's here, so we can call it. Why are we going to use this? This is the component method. So I'm going to call that component and pass the state, and this state right now is a static, but after that I'm going to make it dynamic. So I would change it. I will make an input where the user can add into the state immediately. And why we are using something like state and not just variable? Because we are here talking about JavaScript, so I just can't call like var and give it something or anything like. I can do it with a lot of methods. Why we are using state? Because the state see the changes, and when something changes into the page, it re-render itself. So this is like super dynamic, and states have a lot of methods. We are going to see some in this video, but I really recommend you to look up into the React.js and React Native as well for the mobile. It's super good from my opinion. So I'm just going to do import to do from, okay, component and to do, okay. This syntax is ES6, so this is Enigma 6 syntax, and if you want it, just do this. Let's just delete this paragraph and do to do, okay, and that's it. That's all. If we came up here and say the flow and save it, we can go back and see the to-do app Redux in the middle, and the hello from the to-dos is there. So if I copy those three stuff, it will appear here. So what we want to do is to pass those states via the props. So I'm going to pass it here with a props. Props, it's like a parameter you can pass from the parent to the so you can pass it from the race into down below. So you can pass like from the parent to the child, but you can't pass it from the child to the parent. That's why sometimes we need like state management like Redux. So that's why we are using, in this case, Redux. So let's do this to do it. And we are using class component. That's why we are using the keyword this and state and then to do. Now we have the state passed into this component, and what we are going to do with it, that's another stuff. So we have it right now, so we need first to grab it. So we have to do's. It's same stuff right here. So we need to copy and paste it. Same. So what we are going to do with this state, first I'm going to see if that state have an object or is it an empty. Because if it have an object, we need to print a JSX, and if it doesn't have, for example, any task, so we need to print a message. with, for example, add some task, or you have done all your tasks. So let's do this. So for example, let's to-dos, okay, and I'm going to to-dos and one. But let's just, okay, let's just say to-do list, okay, one list. Here is the thing. So in React Native, we can have this conditional rendering just inline statement. So if we do this, like for exclamation mark, we can return something if the to-do length is a boolean, is true. If not, we can return something else. For example, we can return none. In that case, it's going to the error, because I didn't see anything here. That's why we have an error. So in this area, what I did is I create a state and pass it through the props, and I grab it from here, and I'm creating a const and comparing this to-dos, see if the length is 0 or something different. If the length is true, which is there is some state, in this case we have 3 tasks, I'm going to return something. If not, I'm going to return something else. So how can we return a JSX in this field? You just need to open the parentheses, and for example, I'm going just to return you completed all. Or you know what, you don't have any task to do. That's fine. So that's it. When the state going to render this when the to-do length is false. So when the state is empty, this JSX expression is going to render. But now we want to render all this state. So that's the tricky part. So we are going to use something called map method. So to-dos map. Okay. Okay. No. I messed up. To-do. Okay. And this is an arrow function, and we are going to return some of the GSX. Okay, let's I don't have a HTML snippet, so that's why it doesn't apply the autocomplete. Okay, let's add just some class names. For example, it's class name, and it's center. Just center it, and here what we are going to add is just a span. Span is inline block when you can, and we are going to do to-dos dot, and we are going to pass the contents, aren't we? And no, we pass to-dos, and on the map we pass to-do. So we are going to use to-do. Sorry about that. Content. So that's it, and we click save. So what we have here is to-do list, which is see the to-do list. If it is right, we return this, and if it is false, we return this. And what we need to do right here is to call the to-do list, which is we can do that by to-do list, as easy as that. Okay. Now let's go back. Okay. Here we go. Task 1, task 2, task 3, which is the what we have on state. If we change that to 55, it will automatically change because it is state. I don't need to refresh. And yeah, so let's make this look a little bit prettier. So we are going to use another time materialize CSS. And okay, let's do it. So let's have class name, and let's do a collection item. Okay, and also I'm going to pass the key, which is the ID, but to do.id, and I'm going to say that. Okay, and here we go. So we have this component right now, and the tree we have, it's quite simple. We have state, and we have this component. We pass the props to do via the component, and we grab the props, and we do a quick if condition to see if the to-dos have something or doesn't have anything, and that's all. For example, if we came here and delete all the state just to be sure, and we have to do it empty, we will find like this: you don't have any task to do it at some. And at the same thing, if we have a lot of tasks, doesn't matter, just need to have a special ID. Okay, and here we go. I didn't change that, so it's that task as well. What we are going to do is to make the ability to the user to add those tasks manually and pass it to the state. And also, I'm going to make those clickable, so you can delete these tasks. And I'm going to implement Redux to do that. Okay, so this is the first part of just explaining the setup environment and how to do the first stuff with React. And what I'm going to do next is to just install the Redux, of course. So with npm ndr, you have this. So what we are going to do is to just install the Redux. But to do that, you need to go to the terminal. You can also open a terminal inside the Visual Code, but I really love to use the cmd command. Just okay, and npm install. Just copy paste, nothing special, and click enter. And that won't take much, because if you want to like, this is a very good tip. I wish someone told me that before. But if you want to know more about every library, you need to go to npm. Okay. And for example, especially if you are using like a mobile development, you need to do to search about that Redux, for example, and you will find how much people weekly download this. This is 5 million people per week, which is mean it have a great community. You can just imagine how many people downloading this per week, and imagine how much people are using React to just a simple state manager, which is commonly used by React developers, and not all the JS frameworks, but you can either use it with Vue.js and Angular and a lot of stuff. But the most important stuff is the space, the impact size. So it's very, very light. So that's why I highly recommend it. If you look up into some UI materials for the mobile, for example, you always go and search about it. And also it's written by TypeScript, which is faster than JavaScript, to be honest. And yeah, I believe it's done. So see you in the next video. Okay.